Welcome to Helping You Thrive with Banterra Bank, a podcast that offers inspiration and information to help individuals, businesses, and communities to thrive. I'm Jennifer Spence, Director of Marketing for Banterra Bank, one of your co-hosts.
And I'm Ben Kraft, Commercial Officer at Banterra Bank and also a co-host. This episode is going to focus on an important charity organization that a lot of areas have, the Boys and Girls Club.
That's right, and specifically we're going to talk about the Boys and Girls Club in Southern Illinois, which has locations in Carbondale and Marion. Our guest today is CEO of Boys and Girls Club of Southern Illinois, Dr. LaShonda Hubert. Dr. Hubert, thanks for joining us today.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming today. And Dr. Hubert, before we dive into learning more about the organization, we'd just like to learn a little bit about you and your background. So if you could just tell us about yourself and maybe the path that led to your current position of CEO with the Boys and Girls Club.
Yes, absolutely. So I born and raised in East St. Louis, Illinois. Spent most of my adult life in St. Louis, Missouri. I attended Harris-Hill State University for my undergrad, and my career was teaching. I was a classroom teacher for St. Louis Public Schools. Did that for about 10
Bless
years.
Your heart.
About 10 years of that. And I started in the after-school sector during the summer. Teachers don't get paid, right? So I started working like the summer camp programs, and then I eventually stayed on for the after-school piece. And I really found a love for the out-of-school time programs because I was really able to drill down into those kids that I was working with and really give them that mentorship, that character education, those things that I couldn't do in the regular classroom setting, right? So I stayed on into those programs, and I just kind of worked them part-time while I was still teaching, and I eventually just kind of moved up and I became supervisor, director, and eventually overseeing multiple sites. And I always said that if I got the opportunity to do it full time, then I would take the opportunity. And I was offered that by Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater St. Louis. I was accepted as area director. I would oversee all the clubs in the St. Louis city and manage the funding coming into those clubs. And I have been here ever since. And just recently, a year ago, I was called to the task of reopening Boys and Girls Clubs of Southern Illinois.
Well, we're so glad you're here. How many were in St. Louis that you were over?
Oh, we had 13
Oh my goodness, that's a lot. You were busy. You're still busy.
Big metro area.
Around how many kids in that area?
Wow,
the
area
spot there.
Probably we serve probably about 2,000 kids daily across the organization. Yeah.
So tell us just a little bit in general about Boys and Girls Club organization as a whole, the mission, the history of it.
Absolutely. So the mission of Boys and Girls Club is to inspire and enable youth, all youth, especially those who need us most, right? Because we want them to become responsible, productive citizens that are involved in their communities, that are giving back, that are thriving. And we do that by applying what we call a theory of change, or formula for impact is what we call it, where we take those kids who need us most and we add an outcomes-driven club experience. And that gives us the priority outcomes like academic success, good citizenship and character, and healthy lifestyles. Boys and Girls Club has been around since 1860.
That's amazing.
I did not realize Boys and Girls
A lot
Club
of history there. Yeah, started in Hartford, Connecticut.
Okay.
For women who saw the need. Yeah, for women.
Go girls.
Who saw the need to open their homes to boys that would otherwise be roaming the streets, right? And the concept just started to kind of catch on and catch fire. And other people started to open their doors and creating these spaces for boys to come into their homes. Probably around 1906, there were 53 clubs in Boston, and they decided to merge and become one. And they created the Federation Boys and Girls Club, and that established our national organization. It continued to kind of snowball and catch on, and these clubs were opening everywhere. And maybe around late 70s, 1976, they started to allow girls to participate in the program. But it was unofficial. These were sisters of the boys that were coming into the program and things like that. But it wasn't until 1985 that there was actually legislation that allowed girls to officially become members of the
Yeah,
boys.
isn't that ironic?
Right?
4 women started
And
it took that long for the girls to be able to come. What's up?
And it was still the boys club, right? But then it wasn't until 1990 where we actually changed the name and
I
added
did not know that.
girls, boys, and girls club of America. So that's kind of the history.
So there's over 5,000 nationwide.
Over 5,000,
I mean,
yes.
it's 40 million people have gone through Boys and Girls Club, some famous people too that we
Yes,
might get
very
into
famous
later.
people,
Yeah,
yeah.
so little teaser there, but
So, when did Boys and Girls Club start in this area, in Carbondale or Marion?
Carbondale location opened in 2004.
Okay.
Marion location very recent, 2021.
Okay. So, empowering kids, can you discuss some of the categories with this? Safety and belonging, workforce readiness, human mentorship, youth advocacy, and so on. Just some of the different aspects.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have our staple programs that come under that formula for impact, right? We're very intentional in what we want to leave with the children that we serve. So we have programs that focus on healthy lifestyles, right? We want them to make healthy choices, whether that's eating, whether it's physical activity, mental health, right? Well, we have programs that talk to them about how to deal with feelings that they have and relationships and things like that. But we also have academics, right? We pride ourselves on the academic program that we have. We have tutoring and we have homework help. So when a child comes into the club in the afternoon, first thing that they have to do is homework, right? And we serve 2 meals every single day. And our hopes is that by the time that parent picks that kid up, they have done that homework, they have gotten that hot meal, and they're pretty much ready to end their day, right? We also have programs that are just geared to the female, right? And their categories are layered depending on how old the child is, right? So we also have college readiness, so many opportunities for scholarships for kids. We have kids that have been in the club since they were 6 years old and they graduate from the club and they actually bank that scholarship money the entire time that they go to Boys and Girls Club. We have kids that have free, paid for college education because they were members of Boys and Girls Club.
wow.
So we have a lot of different opportunities, but mostly out of all that we offer them, what we try to do is give them opportunity and choice for them to kind of find what it is that they really want to do.
Guidance, really,
Just-
right?
Exactly.
yeah.
Just the exposure, taking them places and showing them.
Letting them
things that
experience different things they might not otherwise
You know,
see.
one of the things that I saw on your website was mentorship. And I know probably all of us, but at least from me personally, I can think of some key mentors that really changed the course of my career or different path or college choices, whatever those are. Or are there any personal connections for you growing up or anything that relates to the programs of?
So I wasn't a club kid. However, I was a part of a program that was similar, right? So this is the program that I worked in East St. Louis. So I was very connected and passionate about that program because it's the one that I grew up in. That's why I'm able to connect what I was already doing to Boys and Girls Club because the mission is aligned. You know, it's about inspiring and enabling kids, you know, especially that underserved population that may not otherwise have the opportunity to
Their
see
parents
things
are
and go
working a
places.
lot,
Right? Parents
yeah.
are working. Yeah, absolutely.
So this, and for those that don't know, just some more general information about Boys and Girls Club. It's an after-school program, a place for kids to go that might otherwise be just wandering around, roaming the streets. Yeah, and so at the very basic level, you mentioned all these different great programs that you provide, but it's just some place for them to go that's safe, that provides a meal for them, gives them possible mentorship and companionship and their friends that they can talk to. So I think that's really neat too. And just that is available for any kid, right?
Absolutely. We accept it doesn't matter where you live, what school you go to, the doors are open to all kids. Membership is $20, right? But we hope that membership fees are not a barrier. So
$20.
$20 annually to become a
Annually? Wow.
Yes, to be at the club all day long. Again, there are scholarship opportunities. We have people that donate to us and they're earmarked for scholarships. So
Yeah.
that is a barrier for a family, especially families with multiple children, that, you know, we make sure that no child is turned away.
And that's not just confined to a specific school district, right? So
Right.
kids come from any school district,
any
come
school
to say
district.
Marion or Carbondale. They don't just have to be in the Marion or Carbondale school district.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about that bargain price of $20 annual, and you've got staff, and you have facilities
Overhead.
and utilities and all those kind of things. So funding is important.
Absolutely.
Talk about the funding challenges and what corporations and people listening and can do to help, and what do you cuts with federal funding or just the challenges of all of that.
Yes, absolutely. So at this time, Boys and Girls Club is not receiving any type of federal funding. Right now, we're solely operating on our individual giving, our plant giving, and corporations like Banterra that are compelled to support and donate to us. We have a number of corporate partnerships, big names like Ross and Kohl's and things like that donate. But we know the landscape of federal funding. And
it used to be a considerable, large part of your budget.
Considerable part of the budget. As a matter of fact, there are a number of clubs across the organization that have had to close because of the lack of funding, right? So when I came back to reopen the organization, I had to prioritize sustainability. How do we sustain, right? When we reopen, what do we do to keep the doors open? And that's going to be by way of the community, that individual giving and the partnerships that we currently have. And we have to encourage continuous support with the organization. So right now, we cannot rely on the federal funding as we see, and I do not have federal funding in my budget at all, right, for the next fiscal year. And that is pretty much how we are operating, community support.
I know we have donated in the past, and then you guys sort of did a closing, rebuilding kind of thing, rejuvenation, maybe I would call it. But we just recently donated $50,000. And I know we're not alone. I know the Harrison Bruce Foundation just donated that 2 months too. But I mean, you need a lot of those, don't you? And you need even the small ones. They all add up.
Small ones. They're all important. Our fundraising goal is $871,000. And that's for this year. Next year, that will increase because we want to serve more kids, more family. But our biggest, our greatest cost is personnel, right? So we have to make sure that we have those quality key people in there, those mentors, to be able to support the programs that we're actually running. And we definitely are appreciative to all of the corporate sponsors and the individual givers out there because that's how we serve the community. There's no other way.
So speaking of personnel, how many are on your staff, and do you have paid staff, but also I assume there are volunteer opportunities as well?
Absolutely. So I have 12 paid staff, right? I have probably about 6 youth development professionals inside, and then I have a director of operations. And right now we don't have any volunteers, but the opportunity is there. We will allow people to come in from the community, volunteer on the floor with the children, or they may choose to give some other kind of in-kind service. They may also want to work in HR because we don't have an HR department. They may also have that finance background. So anything
or marketing.
Especially marketing. So anything that they are willing to contribute as a volunteer, we are open to that possibility. Internships as well. They are welcome.
I saw that on your website.
Yeah, they're welcome to. We actually have a partnership with SIU right now.
Yeah.
Their social work department will be coming in to do some internships. They'll be able to work with some of those kids with those behavior issues and kind of help ease them.
Yeah, I saw that on your website, and then I saw some of the majors or areas that you could do that. But I also thought, well, marketing, for example, like I don't probably have the time as much, but I could mentor a volunteer that needs an internship. Maybe there's some other categories too.
Absolutely.
Because I know we always get like, I need an internship before, and I'm like, we've already got it filled, or whatever.
Send them our way.
Talk about fulfilling. Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, I think when you hear volunteer opportunities at some place like Boys and Girls Club, you might just automatically think in a teaching capacity or a babysitting, for lack of a better word, type capacity. But it's not just that.
Exactly.
There's many other opportunities depending on what your gifts are, what your skills are, that you can help, such as marketing or HR or anything like that if you have the time. You mentioned the $20 a year tuition, which is great. So what do parents of kids need to know or need to do to sign their kids up and get them involved in Boys and Girls Club?
Okay, well, there are a couple of options. We have the website. They can go to BGCSI. There's an application that they can complete from the website, or they can print it. But they're also welcome to come into any one of the clubs and sign their kids up.
And you might have said this, but about how many kids are you serving right now?
Daily, I believe that we're probably serving close to 300.
Yeah, that's good.
That's Marion and Carbondale.
The locations, but the kids come from different counties.
Yes, they come from counties.
And so I guess for kids that might not be in the school district, how would they go about getting to the facility? Are there transportation opportunities there?
Right now, we don't have transportation, so we are relying on the school districts to work with us to get the kids over to the Boys and Girls Club. But routes have been adjusted so that kids who want to participate can come. And we're just not able at this point to provide the transportation home. So parents actually have to pick kids up from the site. If they live close enough, then they can actually walk home.
I think that's a good reminder too, that not every corporation or organization's got $50,000 to give or whatever it is, but there's churches with shuttle buses or, some transportation companies or whatever. What a great way if you could even just do 1 day a week or whatever it is.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Right? I just had a conversation with the mayor the other day about transportation and that being a barrier because I can see the attendance impacted for those who don't have transportation to the club.
Or some corporations that want to wrap a bus for advertising and pay for bus repair or whatever. Yeah.
Sure.
Absolutely. So
the hours are, is it 2:30 to 6:30 daily?
2:30 to 6:30 during the fall. Yes.
During the fall. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Anything else that I'm missing that parents or kids might need to know or the schools might need to know in order to get involved?
And is it just during the fall for those times? The times change then?
So in summer, we operate all day, 7:30 to 5:30 for summer. Kids are there all day, meals, field trips.
So school season, it's 2:30 to 6:30.
Season after school, 2:30 to 6:30. Mm-hmm.
What kind of events do you guys do? You mentioned field trips. Can you speak on that?
For the kids?
Yeah.
So summertime is the time that they do most of the fun stuff, the things that they really want to do at summertime. So they go swimming, they went hiking, rock climbing, skating, just so many things. But we also have programs that are actually on the site where we bring those experts in, like STEM programming and things like that, into the site so that they can enjoy it. But kids in the summertime enjoy getting out. So we try to do as much of that as possible. But there's still an academic undertone to every single thing that we do. We still kind of rein in those programs and those things that we want to
But they're kids, they got to have both.
Right, so we got to kind of
energy.
trick them into learning. Right? Is it?
Trick them in. Yeah.
Right. They don't
that happens to me every day.
They don't know they're absorbing something, but they actually do because the field trips are really educational.
There's nothing
science.
A parent appreciates more than getting their kid tricked into learning and energy ran by the time they get home.
Right. And
Ben's going to go sign up tomorrow.
They've eaten and they're ready to go to bed by the time that they
Ben's
make it
got
home.
3 kids. Yeah.
And what is really fulfilling about it is I talked to a parent at the Marion site the other day, and she just told me, she said, I would not be able to work if this was
That's so key.
An opportunity for me. She has 5 kids at that Marion location. And she was like, there's no way.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
I can't afford daycare, right? So the thing, I feel that we're twofold. We're supporting and we're enabling kids, but we're also helping families. Right?
If you want a little bit of love too, it's a great place to volunteer because just at the check presentation, those kids, they were just all about new people there and your best friends and let me hold the check and watch me shoot and all those kind of things. And parents are busy with full-time jobs too. So it just gives, it helps them give some emotional feelings to their kids too, I think.
And kids really enjoy it. And I think that's what it needs to be. They enjoy being around their peers, those trusted adults, and the thing about it is millions of kids are at home alone after school.
Yeah.
And the research shows that for every 1 child that's enrolled in an after-school program, there are 3 waiting to get in. So in the big scheme of things, we're only just scratching the surface. Right? And we appreciate all the support and the partnerships that we have. But we need to learn. We need to figure out how to serve more families at the end of the day.
It teaches them social engagement too, because I have to think that if they were staying at home, they'd be sitting in front of that TV or computer or mobile or whatever. The screen time,
You're right. They're socializing. We actually have a social recreation curriculum. Right? That kind of teaches them how to socialize. If you're playing a game with someone, how to be a good
look them in the eye.
Yes, how to communicate with their peers, how to control their emotions, how to talk through.
That's great because that's a skill that is hurting right now, I think, right?
Definitely a lack, I agree.
You mentioned the events for the kids, the field trips and things like that, but as an organization, what kind of events do you put on throughout the year? Fundraising events and things like that?
So we're gearing up for our annual Youth of the Year competition. And what that is the Youth of the Year is the highest honor that can be bestowed on a Boys and Girls Club member. And through that program, they learn how to, they learn essay writing, public speaking, and they actually become ambassadors for Boys and Girls Club. On a local level, they write a speech and they write an essay. We pull in mentors. So I'll be calling Bantera for mentors to help support them through the process. And they actually learn interview skills. And at the actual competition, they're being interviewed, and then they do a public speech, which they have written.
That's fantastic.
Right? They compete with all the organizations in Southern Illinois on the local level, right? There are scholarship opportunities for that. But the winner will go on and compete statewide, right? So then the person that wins in Southern Illinois will compete with other Boys and Girls Clubs in Illinois. More scholarship opportunities, more money. And I always say this, in St. Louis, our Youth of the Year winner will get a car.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Right, and that was huge.
On the way to a job
So
or college.
exactly, along with that scholarship opportunity, they got a car. Then they go to the next level, they compete. My goal is for us to have a national winner, because after that state competition, it's national. They become Boys and Girls Club of America ambassadors. That puts Southern Illinois out there on the map. These are our kids. So that is my goal. So we're getting ready to kick that off. We're creating schedules. And again, I'll be reaching out for support and volunteerism for that program. And there is a gala that we do, right, where the Youth of the Year will do their speech, and it's a dinner, and so that is going to be our biggest event. Yeah.
So there's so many ways that people can get involved, right? So they can volunteer with the kids during the program. They can. You have committees. You have. You even have on your website if you'd like to be a board member. You know, if you want to do your own fundraising.
Yes.
I mean, there's probably. I'm sure missing others, but there's a lot of ways to get involved, isn't there?
And we have a number of local corporations that do fundraisers for us. They do the roundup thing. Proceeds go to Boys and Girls Club. We have Indigo that actually puts on a the gingerbread house competition, right? And the proceeds go to Boys and Girls Club. So there are a number of ways that you can help support, raise money, come into the club.
Yeah, I didn't tell you this, but so we do charities. We did them every month, and it's sort of, I mean, for all of our branches, it's awareness, and we ask customers and employees to make donations and that kind of stuff. And we've narrowed it down to doing them once a quarter. It's just more efficient, probably more productive. But we're doing Boys and Girls Club as one of those four, not just in Illinois, but of all of our branches that will benefit all.
Thank you. That's exciting.
Yeah,
we definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, at least awareness too. You know,
Absolutely.
A wonderful cause. Absolutely, for
It's
sure.
the awareness.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot again. What famous people do you know that attended Boys and Girls Club as a youth?
So many. So Shaquille O'Neal, Denzel Washington.
I saw him on the website. Yeah,
A-Rod,
Okay.
Usher, J-Lo, and a lot of them I've met because we have our national conferences. So they come to the national.
They're still involved
conferences.
in
They're
some
still
way.
involved. Cedric the Entertainer. Oh my goodness, so many. I can't even.
Wow,
Pretty good list right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing.
Any stories that you could share? I know we've gone through a few already, but anything that comes to mind that just demonstrates the importance of Boys and Girls
Like the
Club?
mother that could not work unless had 5 kids, those kind of things.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are really pretty much my stories. But there is something that I always carry with me. So coming from St. Louis, we are still Boys and Girls Club of America. So we have our national conference and every Boys and Girls Club is involved. So there are a few kids that we were able to take with us just to get the experience, and they're celebrities there, and just so that they can get to meet people. And we took a few kids with us, and the surprise guest was actually Usher, right? And just to see those kids just like, oh my God, Miss LaShonda, and they're crying and things like that. I'm looking like, really, right? But it was just that experience, and just me being able to be there and just reminding me of opportunity. Right, just giving them the opportunity to go places.
What a cool
And it's
experience, though.
That they
And
may
it's
not.
such inspiration for them.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think one of the elements that we're getting ready to do with you is some financial literacy and really educate these kids on that. You want to talk about that a little bit, the importance?
Yeah, absolutely. I thought that was a great segue into our partnership. We have a curriculum called Money Matters, and that curriculum actually teaches children to be financially responsible at every age, starting from 5 all the way up to 18. We have a curriculum that kind of walks them through choices that they make regarding the money that they have, spending. We teach them how to balance their checkbook and things like opening banking accounts. And we thought that it would be a great opportunity to work with Banterra, have some of the staff come over to help facilitate those programs, and hopefully have our children open up some accounts and things along that line, hopefully get some tours of some of the facilities, the banking facilities. And our kids are very excited about that. They're gearing up for that now, and I'm working with one of your representatives to schedule
That's
to
great.
come on site.
I think that's so critical. I mean, you've got kids in school. I know they're maybe not old enough, but I don't know
Well,
that
it's
they
so
teach
important.
any of that.
It's so important to learn just basic finances, personal finance as you grow up, because if you never are exposed to it coming through school, and you get out into the world and you don't know anything about it, you're behind the 8 ball already. So the fact that
Absolutely.
we can help with that is so important, and we're glad to do it.
I hope that they talk about like a credit card is not
Yes.
just for fun and
Yeah.
paid at the end of the month and here's what happened.
So important.
You know,
Well-
they can get in debt.
Yeah, and we
critical
talk
debt
about
so
saving
fast.
and preparing for college and things of that nature. So
Saving money.
You all are going to be an amazing partner. for
Yeah,
us, because
saving
you
money.
all are the experts, and that was my goal, bringing the experts.
Sure, using credit cards responsibly, saving money, building credit, how to balance a checkbook,
Yeah.
which almost a lost art these days,
Yeah.
by the way. But anyway, just basic skills that everyone needs to know.
Absolutely. I always like to drive home that we still need support. It's an ongoing thing. We're asking for continuous support. Thank you so much to our partners, corporate sponsorships that are out there currently. We have a number of those. Thank you for supporting.
Yeah.
If we are not yet your mission, my only ask is that you consider supporting the greatest singular secular mission in the world.
It's our future. I mean, it's the kids of our area. It's our future. So
Yeah,
I think it's a
and a
great.
wonderful organization to support for sure. So please consider supporting if you don't already. All right. Last time I put you on the spot. We'd like to ask all of our maybe we'll see. We like to ask all of our guests. We'd like to get to know you a little bit. And so
I didn't really warn you about this question, but it's all good.
Sorry. Yeah, we'd like to get to know you. We'd like to learn a little bit about you, and we'd like to ask, what are you into right now? And that could mean anything. That could mean
Fun fact.
a book, a movie, a podcast, something, a hobby of yours. So, Dr. LaShonda Hubert, what are you into right now?
And it doesn't have to be what you're into right now. It can be, just
So-
Let's learn about you a little bit.
I've been watching Star Trek.
Oh,
And
like the original?
Just, what is it? The
I just remember the originals.
Help me
I don't know.
Discovery.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
And just didn't think that I would be even interested in getting into it, but now I'm kind of like, oh,
You're
I'm ready
binge
for the
watching
next
Star
batch.
Trek. All right.
Captain Kirk, Star Trek, the whole thing. Wow. I didn't
yeah.
know you were a Trekkie.
Me either. Right?
I can remember my parents watching that, and I'd be like, turn the TV on. I'm tired. I don't care what.
Yeah,
Who
that's kind of what I was like, but yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. Who
Oh,
knew?
yeah, don't tell anybody.
We won't say a word.
Okay.
I promise. Oh, well, that's great. I think we learned a great deal about Boys and Girls Club and a little bit about you today, and why the organization is so important to the community. So thank you for joining us today. Thank you for your
Yes,
time,
thank
and
you
thank
for
you for
having
sharing
me.
your story. Listeners, don't forget to subscribe to Helping You Thrive on your favorite podcast platform, or watch the video on Banterra's YouTube channel. You can support the podcast by sharing on social media or posting a review. Follow Banterra Bank's social media for all the latest news and promotions of Banterra and our communities. Our podcast today was recorded at Ethos at the Citadel in Marion, Illinois, and produced by Union Street Arts and Banterra's marketing department. You can find more information on Banterra at our website, banterra.bank. Thanks for joining us today. Banterra Bank, member FDIC.